Secret 7 is that grief is universal, but every loss is different. Once you've been through some losses, does grieving get easier? Yes, in one way. You have experience, you have trust in yourself that you know how to do this. You know for sure that people survive. You've tested your beliefs. You've carried out whatever cultural or religious practices are important for you. It's not easier in another way, because every particular loss has its own weight, its own nature. The nature of the loss itself matters. Is this something that you're familiar with or unfamiliar with? Is this something that you've ever seen before or developed any thoughts about? It also matters how much this loss threatens the stability of your life, the expectations that you have for the future. Sometimes it can surprise how much the loss of a person who's not a major figure in your life can affect you. Someone from the past, someone that you've lost touch with, or someone that you didn't really realize were so important to you before their death. The timing of this loss can matter too. If it comes especially right after other losses that you haven't even had a chance to process and bounce back from yet. Or this loss may stand in for another loss. I worked with someone one time who was coming to talk about what she considered extreme reaction to ending a relationship with a boyfriend who wasn't a very valued or great person in her life. She couldn't understand why months and months after the breakup she was still suffering so. As we talked about it, she said, "I never even grieved like this for my brother." And she stopped and she thought, and she realized that this boyfriend was a stand-in for the brother that she'd known and loved her whole life. And she was able to begin her grieving then for her brother, and did it very well as soon as she felt that she could face it and had enough strength that it was time that she could do that. Also, if the loss is catastrophic, if it's sudden, if it's violent, if it's the death of a child, if it's a death by suicide, the nature of those losses can make great complications in how the grief is. And also, if the loss is ongoing, this is little discussed, but we can have losses that don't end. Someone is injured in a way that they're not able to recover from. They're still present, but they're no longer the person that they used to be. Anybody who's been through a loved one having Alzheimer's disease has lived with that. Their loved one is still present physically, but their loved one is missing in many ways. Families who have a loved one who doesn't come back from war or is missing in other ways have a similar situation. Their person is gone, but yet still alive in their hearts. These complications can make losses far different than something that's much more usual and straightforward. So there's some questions that we end up with. Is this loss that I'm facing right now, is this similar to something that I already know about? Do I have a place to start, or do I have to start at the very beginning? How will this loss impact my future, my expectations, my plan that I have for my life? How will the experience that I've already had with grieving help me with this loss, and how will it not help me at all? Who can help me? Who knows things that I need to know? How will this test me in a way that I haven't been tested before? And who else is grieving with me? The more you're able to find answers for those questions, the more you'll be able to grieve intentionally and in a way that really responds to this loss.